Welcome to Weekended. But before you go and relax this weekend or head to a comics event, let's get you in to know of all the comics news that came over the Comics News Wire this week, that turned heads and comics pages in this comic book industry. And now to our anchors to give you the news you need to know. Mr. Anderson is the unboxable advocating creator known as the indie comics devil who will tempt you with his devilish tales of fetish, monsters, and more. He is the giver of free hugs and spanks, and he is a partner in Continuum Comics. Check out everything Anderson at chainlinks.site. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, I'm ready to hit the road. Got my vest on. I'm ready to get back out there, sell some comic books. How's everyone doing? Let's talk about some news that happened this week. Let's get you in to know, as we say around here, of all the things that happened this week. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to expand this, give you a little bit of a better view. And let's start off with our map. We got some crazy stuff going on all over the place. It's awesome. It's back. Cons are back, baby. It's time to get back to conning around. We're going to go deep diving into this. Right now, what you need to know is New Jersey's got a happening and Florida's got a happening. We're going to talk all about that at the end of the show. But for now, know that I'm back on the road, and so are some other great people. So stay tuned to the end of the show to see that. From Gabal Hennessy, when you make a deal with someone, you want to be protected from potential problems your business partner might create. It does you no good to hire someone to make a comic for you with you and then get sued when their actions hurt someone else. So true. I've said it. Contracts are like condoms for this generation of creators. Make sure you're wearing one to protect everyone. You don't want to give birth to greed babies or lawsuit babies in this regard. And definitely check out Gamal Hennessy over at the Creative Consulting, contractconsulting.com. Double indemnity. Are you protected? Check it out right now. Aftershock comic exclusive here, Seven Swords, brought to us by monkeysfightingrobots.co. This is Seven Swords hits your local comic book store June 16th, but thanks to Aftershock Comics, MFR has an exclusive 4-page preview. So check that out right now. Remember, you can get to all of these things by going to our comics newsroom, going to our site. You just go to comicbookadvocates.com or comicsnewsroom.com and you'll get here. And just look for this week's events. So this is from Charles Santino. He gives us his Kickstarter Rammer, I guess. Today's his birthday, so it'd be a great idea to back his actual Indiegogo project. It's a limited edition. Check it out today. 48 pages. It's newsprint, and you could even get a preview issue right here. So check that out. Also, this is off of the Comics Newswire group on Facebook. So it turns out the Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.'s main character has a new mission within the comic books. What is that mission? You're going to have to go to CBR to check out more. This is from our good friend Dwayne the Showtime Robinson, hooking us up with always some awesome stuff. He says, Michael and Victoria have grown up together since they were born and have a close bond like brother and sister. You can see them and other characters in our Nightfall Michael's Awakening series, available now in paperback or digital. So check that out. That's brought to us by Dwayne the Showtime Robinson. And it can be found at the Comics Newswire Facebook group. DC Comics announces exciting new international Batman. You can find out more at comicbookmovie.com. And now live on Kickstarter Divinity, issue number 2. This is brought to us by Barb Kalberg, R.A. Jones, Alex Sabria, Mike W. Belch, and this is live now, and you can get your copy straight from Silverline with their double feature. And I also have a cool steampunk to go on the other side of that. Teen Titans Go See Space Jam original movie? That's right, the two of them are going to combine. What happens when Teen Titans meets the Space Jam aliens? Well, comicbook.com will give you more information on how to answer that scratch that itch. CB Zane's telling us that come June 1st, we're going to see the CB Zane cover and Mighty Might #1. So the Might is back, and it's going to happen. Let's make Monday a sunshine day. Another cover reveal of the Might campaign launching June 1st. So mark your calendars, get it there. CB Zane is back on Kickstarter. Comic book preview, Heroes Reborn, Marvel Double Action #1. What could this mean? Well, you're going to have to go over to our friends FlickeringMyth.com and see the preview and see if it's something you're interested in. All right, time to get back to conning around. We're going to talk about that very soon. We also did backer pause this week. Had 2 new rookie judges. They did a fantastic job. Definitely check that out. And you can now go to backerpause.com. From Giovanna, we have Primal is reaching its final days. Be sure to back it when you get a chance. It's great jumping on point for new readers and a really fun story. This is on Kickstarter now, and it's from Maelstrom Comics. And remember that Comic Book Advocates is also your global digital Comic-Con. It's your indie comics con that's always live, always going. So if you guys feel still a little bit under the possible restrictions, as it were, there's a virtual con. And during the week, if you want to pick up and go to a con, you can. Just go to our site. You can go there by going to comicbookadvocates.com. Charles Santos gives us another look at Remore. This is the story about the psychic connection between a writer and an artist. In this case, between me and Halo Rios, the main Rammer artist, as we write and draw Remore 3. And you guys can see some interesting stuff. This is coming off the Comics Newswire. Remember, we rise together. There's no reason to rip someone down so you can get ahead. Always help the person next to you rise, and then you'll have someone in the trenches with you later in life. Sam Johnson stopped by for our brand new series, Continuum Comics Creative Corner. 2 parts. First part, we talk about the creator. The second part, we talk about the creator's creation. It was a great sit down. I always love sitting there. We put it together today. Both videos available. Check out the actual show. I'm really liking this format. I explain it in more detail, but I really hated that StreamYard put 10 people in a room, and we no longer really got to hear about the creators. So I'm going to try to change that with one-on-one interviews. And this is from our friend. By the way, happy birthday to Evan Pazios. He says one of the greatest attacks of the enemy is to make you busy, to make you hurried, to make you noisy, to make you distracted, to fill people of God and the church of God with so much noise and activity that there is no room for prayer. There is no room for being alone with God. There is no room for silence. Paul Walsh. This is from The Silence, coming out from Second Sight Publishing. It's in Previews World now, by the way. You can go to Previews World. We actually have a Twitter feed just for Previews World stuff from creators, and you can go there, go to Twitter, go in Previews, and you'll find us right there. So we have a whole thing dedicated to it. I'll try to remember to throw this up. I got to start packing. Some of this set comes with me this weekend, so I have to start taking things down. Speaking of things that are going down, how cool is this? A lot of stuff's going down over at Continuum Comics. What am I talking about? You're going to have to go to Continuum Comics, subscribe, and bookmark it to see everything that's going on. And this is the Creative Corner, and this was just explaining what it was. And this is Aaron Humphreys, always giving us some awesome stuff. Check it out now on Facebook. And this is from our group, and he's just showing you his webcomic. Another cool thing, Evan again gave us these amazing Johnny Phantasm figures. Look at them. How awesome is this? So many cool figures there. Check it out. If you want one, all you got to do is go to Evan Pazos. And by the way, happy birthday to him. Make sure you wish happy birthday to him. Here's something a lot of people don't consider. Even though we're comic book creators, it's a good idea to read books about sales. I actually like this one, Sales Secrets. While not all of it fits, there are certain things about a salesperson that we don't necessarily inherently know as comic book creators, and this is a good way to understand it better. That's also why I say dating books are a good thing. It's learning emotional IQs as well. So remember, when I say get an education, it's not always just about the history of comics, but it's also about learning how to be in this industry and doing all the things you need to do, including promoting your own works. I found out this week that Cat Dad and Supermom is back in previews as part of this very cool Scoot Frontiers. Very excited about this. Some great creators in there. I'm actually trying to track down a previews book because I'm in it again. Scoot gets an A for August, says Richard Rivera, and I would agree. And this was coming off the Comics News Wire and found at the Scoot page. If you haven't liked the Scoot page, now's the time to do so. Kickstarter for the Catch the Crazies is coming to an end. Make sure you back it before it's gone. Time is almost over. And if you want to join my private group, that's right. I made a group just for you guys to find out exclusive stuff that's going on with me. All the stuff is private. I don't think anyone can. You can find the group, but you can't see the actual post. I don't know. They've changed all the stuff with Facebook groups. I don't even know what you can do anymore. But either way, we have our own group now, Mr. Anderson's Sinners. So join us today. And there you go. Code for the previews, Scoot Frontiers, is June, JUN 211763. Shepherd, Path of Souls, #1, CVR. Check it out now. It's a Black Caravan imprint. Andrea does an amazing job with writing. I love that cover. So awesome. Remember, guys, please don't fake it till you make it. Study it. Practice it. Earn it. Then claim what's yours. Do not put yourself in a situation where you're faking something because you'll fall flat on your face. If you don't know something, ask someone who does know. Become more educated. Become a more expanded and fulfilled person by seeking out knowledge, not faking that you know something. So one of the things I know is that you're going to get notified about when the Continuum Presents Heroics launch. If you go to this link right now and sign up, I think we've had like 18 or 19 people do it already. It's time to sign up. The next Kickstarter is starting in June. June's next week. When in June? You're going to have to hit that notify button to make sure you don't miss anything. Here's all the things I do on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you can now find by actually going to, what link is that? I've actually been cleaning up some of my links this week. So I made a domain tree, and our Advocating Network space, if you go to advocatingnetwork.space, you can now find our YouTube. So that's pretty easy to get to. Huge news, Continuum Comics headquarters welcomes Specs Thomas to the Continuum alumni. We cannot wait till you see his mini tale about the legacy of the View coming out through the launch of Heroics Comics this June on Kickstarter. But for now, catch up on Legacy of the View. Link inside of our announced thread. So right here, click the link. He's on Kickstarter right now with his amazing project that you can back today. Speaking of amazing projects, The Night Wolf is back on Kickstarter. I'm pretty sure it's already funded at this point. Rob Molitari, amazing work. This is a great series, and it's back. Make sure you support it today. Stephen Cole, part of our actual, for those who don't know, he is actually part of our independent creators. What was Hall of Fame is now Hall of Creators. Gives us a great resource for new freelance editors and those like himself need to consider adding more structure to their current freelance businesses. So check this out. This is at acseditors.org. If you're an editor and interested, congratulations to Dustin, who was actually part of our backer pause last week and did an amazing job. He successfully funded his Kickstarter this week, and so he's actually done an amazing job. Can't wait to see him this weekend, and you'll find out where we'll be in just a little bit. Red Shift coming out from Scout Comics. This is from James Hayek telling us that it dropped, and see what critics are calling it. You can find that out at the comic. Actually, you can find this one out at Scout Comics on Facebook, and this is from Brian E. Lau, and we saw this great video yesterday. Exclusive variants, remastered trade, bonus comics, music, and more. Staunch Ambition is now on Kickstarter. Make sure you're checking it out. This is also on Kickstarter from my friend Liam Sharp. Amazing artist, has done it all. Crowdfunding right now, doing an amazing job. Check it out. This is an amazing book. You can find it on my page. You can find it on this thread. Give it a look. I think you'll be impressed. And if you want to keep up on all the things that I'm doing with comics in kids' hands, that's right. Panel season is back. So I'm going to be doing panels about the importance of comics in kids' hands. Please check it out. Sign up and be aware of when I'm doing my next panel. What's coming up next for Sister of Mercy doesn't look good in this preview picture, but you can find out when they launch if you go over to their coming soon thing. Make sure you subscribe to know when the launch is happening. And this is great. If you have a kid and you want to get them something awesome to help them encourage making a comic book, use Scoots Create a Comic Book, written by Richard Rivera and illustrated by Michael Doran. It's a black and white 24-page Scoot imprint. and it presents their first creations. Check that out. Kevin Smith was shocked that Batgirl isn't releasing in the theaters. That's right. Apparently, it's going to be HBO Max only. Says that they gave up on $1 billion franchise. Kind of agree. If you're a Bebo, by the way, that was brought to us by comicbook.com. Bebo, holiday special confirmed by the CW. Later this year, we will get a holiday special, and it'll be a semi-crossover, not like we're used to. Of course, the 2020s kept us from having 2 years of crossovers, and now we're getting rewarded with a holiday special. Comicbook.com covered that for us. Here's a blazing hot Red Sonja cosplay cover, but you can find a preview of it at flickeringmyth.com. Steel City Comic Con, June 11th through 13th, we'll have Henri Compont, and that's going to be awesome. He's going to be there with Ted, Sean, and Christopher. A solid lineup. Then, news alert, the sinister celestial sorcerer Count Draco Knuckle Duster arrives this July from Scout Comics and Black Caravan. What is that? Well, just click the link from our site, comicbookadvocates.com, to find out more. All right, here it is. DC Comics is promising a new Stargirl comic with Stargirl #1. What's that going to look like? Go to Bleeding Cool to find out more. Black Widow CEO, Black Widow let's start over. Black Widow. Disney CEO says they made the right move where they're going to now be releasing it in the theaters and on Disney Plus. Yeah, I think it's the one you have to pay for. That's brought to us by comicbook.com, where you can find out more information. But it will be released this year. We'll finally get to see Black Widow's tail. That poor movie. Kept getting pushed around last year. Ben Lacey will be at Savannah Comic-Con. It's not just, this is a bad preview picture. It's happening July 24th to 25th now. I checked back on their site to make sure they're still going with it. Playtime Comics presents Comics in Kids' Hands. That's right, Playtime Comics, an imprint from Continuum Comics, will be taking over, and there's a lot to do with this. They will be sponsoring these things, and what does that all mean? Time will tell. But the actual Playtime Comics imprint is launching as panels to encourage people to read. And there's a lot that we have planned. I can't say it all, but let me put it this way. We're definitely looking to see who we can meet on the road that can help us get comics into kids' hands. And I'll leave it at that. Geek Girl Jump On Trade Back is still on Kickstarter. Time is running out. You only have till the 30th. So if you're a Geek Girl fan, make sure you back it today. Powerpuff Girls, the CW boss explains why the pilot, what are they talking about? Well, it turns out the Powerpuff Girls pilot was scrapped. They're keeping the same actresses, but what they're doing next, you're going to have to go to comicbook.com to find out. We are scheduled to attend the Central Florida Comic-Con. That's coming up next for Continuum Comics after this weekend. I'll tell you in a minute where we're going to be. That's going to be the 12th through the 13th in Central Florida, so stay tuned. News alert, no Ghost in Hiroshima is coming to Scout Comics this June. Check out our site, Comic Book Advocates, for more information. Make sure you go to my site. Check out my chain links. I was fixing a lot of stuff today. By the way, I changed my URL to more of a vanity URL. I originally had MrAnderson.website. Now, you know, .coms are better than websites, so I've made it now MrAnderson.com. That's MISTER. So check it out. I migrated a site today. Well, I didn't. I called someone up and they did it, but I was happy that it happened. All right. Resilience, Creators Against COVID, the Fantastic Flame Prinacopis. Check this out. What is this? Well, this is a fantastic book that's geared towards helping people. You're going to have to go to Creators of Written Sins, which, of course, is comicbookadvocates.com to see more. And this is brought to you by Global Comics, by the way. Check it out. So awesome. And speaking of awesome, Free Comic Book Day, Batman, Suicide Squad, Teen Titans, and more. Coming to us this August is Free Comic Book Day returns. All right, so here it is. U.S. Book Show, Keanu Reeves comes for comics. Keanu Reeves spent his time talking to people about his great work in comics. I don't know if it's great yet or not, but a lot of people are talking nicely about it and good about it. Some wild hair he has. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if that's on purpose. Maybe he's doing a Psycho movie. You're going to have to go to publisherweekly.com to find out more. DC Comics reveals new details for Infinitive Frontier. I almost said Fortnite. You can find more about that as if Infinity Fortnite Zero is Following Infinity Fortnite Zero early this year, DC has revealed more details about it. You're gonna find out more at comicbook.com. Kev Davies is gonna be over in Bristol's Comic Con on July 11th in the UK. So the UK is starting up too, man. I'm so excited to be reading this news about cons starting up. So if you're a Bond fan, I don't know how you're gonna feel about this, but Amazon now owns them, as Amazon has bought MGM. For more details, go to comicbook.com. And of course, backer pause was done. And there goes, listen, Amazon's listening to us. So let us indie, a creative revolution, independent, next-gen, diverse, endless entertainment. Don't settle for the indie that's about cars, because we don't live in Indianapolis. If you're an Indianapolis creator, then sure, use the Y. And don't use the double I, because we know the people who use the double I in indie, they make it all about themselves. Join us as a revolution of indie has begun. Batman, the world unites. Let's start again. Batman, the world unites creators across the globe for this hardcover. This is super awesome. This is an anthology featuring stories of the Cape Crusader. This is from CBR.com. We touched on it a little earlier. Some more information for you. Get educated. That's right. These are things that will help you through your education, things that you should be reading and digesting and adding towards your knowledge banks. That's right. I called them knowledge banks. Live with it. Garth Ennis talks about returning to Gotham City and Batman Reptilian. This is brought to us by CBR.com, and he has returned to something that looks amazing. I actually love the art that's coming out of that. Heroes for Kids Con, July 17th. Proceeds to benefit the Missouri National Veterans Memorial and St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Brought to us by Jessica Johnson. This is going to be going down. It's returning. It'll be here. You guys can get your tickets now. Star Wars. J.J. Abrams reflects on the lack of the overall planning of Star Wars. No kidding. You should make a plan when you're going to do a trilogy. Who could have guessed? This is covered by comicbook.com. If you want to read a no-dust story. Comic Books helps Army veteran cope with PTSD. This is cool. This is from Spectrum Local News. Comics do so many things. I'm so happy that he has found a way to deal with his PTSD through comics. That's amazing. Please go and read the article. It's worth your time. Turns out that Suicide Squad's going to be hunting Swamp Thing this fall in a DC crossover. Task Force Guest versus the Green? But you're going to have to find out more at GameRadar.com. GamesRadar.com. Here we go. DC unveils Pennyworth, comic book series about Alfred before he was Bruce's butler. You can check this out at multiversitycomics.com. If you ever wanted to know why you should get Marvel Unlimited, here are 10 things to know about the comic book app that you might not have known. Star Wars: The High Republic, Trial of the Shadows, headed to Marvel Comics. You're going to be able to find out more of the earlier generation of the Jedis coming soon at your favorite comic book shop. That was brought to us by StarWars.com. I didn't even know there was a StarWars.com. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I didn't know they did articles like that. And here it is. Albuquerque Comic Con is going to have Carlos Molina, and he's going to have hero cars, cosplayers, comic artists, photo ops, and family fun. June 25th to 27th. That's going down in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I saw NW and I got all messed up. Sister of Mercy, we're already covered. Cat Dad and Supermom is available. By the way, if you go to catdadandsupermom.com, it redirects now to Scout Comics, so you can get your copy, both in digital and printed form, or come see me at a show. Where am I going to be? Well, you're going to see a lot of my appearances going on Continuum Comics. I will not be putting my appearances on my site anymore. I will be having them go through Continuum, and you can find out why I'll be through Continuum Comics, as I will be representing Continuum Comics. So I might throw up where I'm going to be on my site as we start getting more subscribers. That's the whole point. I want you guys to subscribe my channel. I'm doing the best I can to get you as much information as I can. There's just so much going on nowadays. So this news program is even more important as I can fill you in on where I'll be. So make sure you're subscribing to comicbookadvocates.com as well. Thundercats movie writer says, we're not ready for what he's got. Find out what he's talking about at comicbook.com. DC reveals titles for Free Comic Book Day. We saw a couple of them. Pretty exciting stuff. Comic Convention Hudson Valley postponed until next year. Sorry to say, we're not done with cancellations. We're not done with postponements. So if you're in the Hudson Valley and you knew of the Comic Con, I'm sorry to say it won't be around until next year. But in the meantime, this might make you smile. The Rock to voice Crypto the Superdog. So not only is he going to be playing Black Adam, but he's going to be Crypto. This is going to be an amazing time to be a comic book fan and a fan of The Rock at the same time. ComicBook.com has more of the details for you, including Titans reveals Season 3 HBO Max release date. Ooh, my. All right. Wolverine's 10 funniest comic book storylines, because you need to laugh, and some of these were really funny. And that's brought to us by ScreenRant.com. Comic book preview, Star Wars, Darth Vader 12. Look who's in the preview. Find out more at FlickeringMyth.com as they talk about bounty hunters. Comic book preview for Black and White, Batman, or Batman Black and White number 6. DC has officially released a preview over at FlickeringMyth.com. Comic Uno's new Kickstarter unites haunting and like father, like daughter. This newest Kickstarter campaign from Kat Camillia, Comic Uno, crosses over her like father, like daughter with Phil Falco's Haunting. It's definitely something that you should check out on Kickstarter now. Find the links by going to CBR.com. Comic book preview, Star Wars Adventures, The Weapon of the Jedi. What is all this? You're going to have to go to FlickeringMyth.com to get a taste of what they have for you. I love this. Freddie Mercury comic book, told in his own words, is in the works. This is really awesome. He was a great guy. I watched his movie. I really liked it. Complicated, but definitely a very talented person. This can be found at aceshowbiz.com. Demon Slayer opening crown Japanese most popular. I believe it was I want to get this right because this was important. Most popular profitable theme song. So that was kind of cool. This actually beat out all other things. I thought that was kind of cool. So just an interesting tidbit for you guys. Comic book preview for Dune, House of Artardes, and I know I'm saying that wrong, and I apologize. From Boom Studios, that's number 7. You can find a preview at FlickeringMyth.com. Also, a preview of Action Comics 1031. Man, he looks menacing in this, doesn't he? You're going to have to check out that preview to see what's got Superman so upset. Lucifer is returning to Netflix soon, but before he does, I wanted to share this with you guys. DC Comics Lucifer versus the TV Lucifer. 5 ways that they're different. Check it out right now at ScreenRant.com. Rick and Morty's coming back. We got to see the release of the new trailer this week. You're going to get to see when Season 5 is starting if you go to comicbook.com. It was a good video. I enjoyed it. And we have another preview for you of Batman Superman number 18 at FlickeringMyth.com. This is the official preview courtesy of DC Comics. Marvel's Fury Files now streaming on Disney+. That's right. Nick Fury's files have been released for all of us to see. Find out more about this story about comicbook.com. And speaking of previews, here's a preview. Heroes Reborn, Young Squadron number 1 from FlickeringMyth.com. A lot of previews. Some great art. Definitely check that out. Oh, my goodness. Titan-sized Attack of Titan manga breaks Guinness World Record. Now, imagine trying to carry that into school to read it. I'm sure you'd get stopped. That looks cool. I dig it. Congratulations, then. This was from SiliconEra.com. I already got Red Sonja taken care of. May's 26 new Marvel's comics. This is the full list brought to us by Marvel.com. And the finale of the Black Panther to the opening of the Reptile. And so much more. Here we go. Batman King Shark. Headline DC's Free Comic Book Day. Just so many people were talking about it. I just want to remind you it's happening in August. Check these out. Start planning to support your local comic book shop. This is over at CBR.com. And we saw about the comic book preview for Stargirl Spring Break Special number 1. Check out the preview at FlickeringMyth.com. Here are all the tweets from the week that included the weekended show that we're doing right now. And before we move on to our Comic Con Highway, I just want to quickly scroll past this and remind you that if you have an event, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or news you want shared, just send us a message at comicsnewswire@yahoo.com and be kind and share this thread. And check out Continuum Comics with 4 imprints and our main company. We have a lot planned. Come join us on the journey. This show is also brought to you in part by GeekInsider.com. and copyrights, all rights reserved to the creators of the IP shown. All right, guys, we're going to shift gears right now, and the show is going to become all about the forecast. That's right. We're going to hit you up with the forecast. We're running a little early tonight, so we're just going to wrap it up and talk about what's going on. And maybe I'll use the extra time to actually film this on it or chop it up and get it to you guys as a standalone. But for now, here's your COMiX Con Highway forecast, where we tell you all the things that are coming off the COMiX Con Highway, including a new intro. It's time to get back to Comic Cons. Check out the COMiX Con Forecast given to you by comicbookadvocates.com and in association with conventionscene.com as we give you all the amazing Comic Cons that are back that you can go to. So watch the show and plan your trips, pack your bags, and get ready to hit the COMiX Con Highway. Here it is, Suncoast Comic Con. There's a reason. That guy looks familiar, right? From Greed? Well, it turns out that our friend Dustin did that cover. So I'll be here May 29th through the 30th. That's this weekend at the Bradenton Area Convention Center. And that's in Palmetto, Florida. I'll be there. I'm going to be there being Bobby Gregory more of the time than Mr. Anderson. It's a little bit more of a family-friendly show, so we're going to be pushing Cat Dad and Supermom, The Continuum, maybe The Oz vs. Cthulhu. I've got so many books now, and of course, The Advocator. The Fetish will be there, but you got to ask about it, so make sure you do that. And of course, Dustin will be there. Dustin's doing the great cover there, and I'll be hanging out with him in person. We had a great time on Backer Paws. Can't wait to hang out with him. Continuum Comics being repped by me and my boy Mike Seeley. We're going to be hanging out. He's going to be doing some art. I'm going to be selling some comic books. Come check us out. You also have to check out Lisa, who's going to have J for Lisa Comics. Check it out, man. She's told me she's right by the door. I'm not jealous at all. I promise. I'm maybe a little jealous. And Aaron's going to be there. We don't have an on-file picture for Aaron, but Aaron says, I will be at Suncoast Comic Con with Second Sight Publishing. Again, that's this Saturday and Sunday for Memorial Day weekend. Come hang out with us before you go to the barbecue on Monday. PowCon is back. My boy, Chris Mad, back on the road sooner than I think even he expected. This is going to be happening in New Jersey. Even New Jersey's letting Comic Cons happening. This is so awesome. Wayne Powell, One Powell Drive, Wayne, New Jersey. Wayne, New Jersey's just outside of New York. I mean, New Jersey's not a big state, but it's pretty close to New York. I think you might even be able to take Wayne Mass Transit there. I don't know. Look it up. And he's not going to be alone, as our friend Vera Sam will be joining him. As you can catch the crazy not only on Kickstarter, but at this actual show. So check that out. And here's some future stops to quickly go over with you. Steel City Comic Con. We talked about that. We talked about Central Florida Comic Con and Albuquerque Comic Con today. Savannah Mega Con. Here it is, the Bristol Comic Con. And for now, we're continuing to do this. It's just kind of throwing it together as everything's coming. We're hoping to start expanding this into something bigger. But for now, this is what it is. And we're going to go over to conventionscene.com. I was actually looking for that link. Where is it? This is Tom's. Tom gave us a cheat sheet if you're a Florida creator, all the things going on in Florida. Thank you to Tom Rapp, who does an amazing job, including bringing Daytona to us. And this year, Daytona has moved to September. There we go, September 18th through the 19th. It's going to be at the Vassalou County Fairgrounds in New York Avenue in D-Land, Florida. I know it's Daytona, but it's going to be in D-Land this year. Blame 2020. What can I say? All right, so let's see if we can get to our friends. Oh, we're still having some. We got a long ways to go. Hold on. Everyone close your eyes. I want to go down quickly and see if we can't find our friends. Goodness. So many things. All right. Where's our friends? Where's our friends? Here it is, convention scene. So, ooh. Live TV. This is because I bragged about us being ahead. All right, so here we go. Convention scene. Let's see what's going on. They said Nashville might be happening this weekend. We'll give that a look. I think Nashville was canceled, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's postponed until 2020. So if you thought Nashville was happening this week, it is not. The Shear Off is happening in Annabelle, Virginia. Niagara Falls Comic Con. Last we checked, this is going to be next weekend. Was still a go. We checked this last week. Nope. They have officially moved it. So the Niagara Falls has officially canceled. It will not be there. So that's some news for you guys right now. Let's see if Alabama Comic Con is still going on. And we'll do Philadelphia Comic Con, I know, has been rescheduled, and I think Westchester has, but we'll give it to you right now. At Seattle, nope, they have not updated. They're saying, actually, no. Here we go. October 9th and 10th is when there'll be Alabama My Hero Convention, Owl Smash. So it's not going to be happening in the next weekend. Philadelphia Comic Con says it's going to go. So Philadelphia Comic Con, as of 5/15, is still planning to be at the Clariton Hotel and Conference. So if you're in Philadelphia, you're going to get a shot at a show. And Westchester Comics doesn't go to anywhere where it has any information for me to be able to report for you right now. But that's been the show. I appreciate you guys tuning in this evening with me. And we're not going to keep you much longer. We're going to give you the map real quick so you guys can see where we're going to be. And you guys can join us on the road. And you hear Jax is really excited in the background. So I'm going to go hang out with my boy, and you guys make your plans to hit the road. All right, guys, go out there and enjoy yourselves. Back at Kickstarter. Go to Indiegogo. Take some time off and relax. Go to a convention. Go to a comic book store and enjoy your time off. We'll see you back here next week for more news coming off the COMiX News.